All right, my friends, welcome back to the show. Nice to have you here. This is My Daily Thread. We are looking for that snippet of wisdom, also known as a morsel, a pearl, or maybe even a wee tiny bit of wisdom, but it doesn't really matter what we call it. We are still looking for the same thing, little pearls that can work deeply into our lives, off our mats if you're yogis, out of your regular daily practice. Maybe you're a runner, maybe you're a mountain biker, maybe you're a swimmer, maybe you're a dancer. It's this idea that we learn how to come inside. We learn how to cultivate some inner awareness and then bring that forth and let it sprout into new ways of living positively in all aspects of our lives. We have been talking about the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. We are on chapter 2, verse 20, and this is what the verse says. It says, draṣṭā dṛśyamāṇaśuddho'pi pratyayānupaśyah. And really, this verse is all about getting us back to this idea of Puruṣa, the Seer, the capital S self. And we're basically saying, look, there's this Puruṣa, and it's the Puruṣa that really is the only thing that's seeing in us. It's the capital S self is always seeing, but it can appear only through the mind's eye, which means if it's being interpreted through the mind, then there's going to be certain modifications. This is where it gets a little bit enmeshed, where it gets a little bit tricky. But let's take a little sidebar for just a minute. I like to let you know what's going on, and we've got a great retreat coming up, February 2026. I want you to mark it in your calendar. It's in San Pancho, Mexico. It's the repeat. It's the second year that we're going to do this with Andrea Ziegler and Ziggy Moves. And I'll tell you what, it was so good this year. The retreatsters were saying it was life transforming. Ooh, and we love to hear that because I think that was true. On a side note, also, could you just hit that subscribe button, write us a review, do the podcasty things. All right, back to Patanjali. So a couple of the main words here from the sutra, draṣṭā means the seer, right? As we've said, the capital S self, you might want to call it, or pure consciousness that's inside us. And it's not pure awareness. It's not touched by our thoughts. It's not touched by our emotions. It has got nothing to do with our external experiences, or it's got nothing to do with our material goods or wealth. It doesn't have anything to do with our relationships, really, but it still is there, and it's still being seen and reflected by the mind. And when we talk about the mind and all the mind stuff, that takes us right back to the start of our podcast when we were talking about the goal of yoga, yoga's citta vritti nirodha, how always when we are embodied, we are dealing with our own chirping of the mind. This is what we call citta vrittis, the whirlpools of the mind stuff. It's all of that active voiceover that we hear inside all the time. But even if we have this deeper level of consciousness, a pure consciousness that's deep inside of us, because there's still this chirping in our mind, because of that, the chirping of the mind, the citta vrittis, start to distort our understanding of who we really are. So I think we can kind of think of it a little bit like this. That true self, the capital S self that's inside, is pure awareness. That was what Sankhya might call Puruṣa, the seer. And it's not our body, it's not our thoughts, it's not our emotions, but it's that silent observer that's behind them all. It's reigns underneath, lying in that deepest level of consciousness. The problem is the mind distorts the reality, and therefore we can't quite understand exactly who the seer is, and then we start to get enmeshed with the mind and the chirping of the mind stuff and then the actual pure awareness. So the whole idea with all of our practices is very simple. We want to, through stillness, through self-inquiry, through that surrender to reality, we want to find a way to detach and disentangle the seer from that which is seen. We need to try to move away from some of the mental chatter and chirping and move towards more clarity. Draṣṭā dṛśyamāṇaśuddho'pi pratyayānupaśyah. The draṣṭā is always there, but it's stuck behind the mind that's seeing, and it's clouding our vision a little bit. So tomorrow, let's talk a little bit more about this sutra and see if there's some practical applications. We can find ways to improve our contact. Okay. Om. Peace out. All right, as a post-show note, if you're having some problems with your practice, if you're feeling the motivation lag a little bit, if you're not quite feeling in it, or you just are lacking a bit of direction, that's where some good private time with a teacher can really help. And so hit me up, jefflichty.com, on the contact page, and let's transform your practice and get you on track. All right, peace out.